Okay, hello everybody, welcome on back. So, we are going to do a more relaxed, chilled musing. So, those last two videos kind of seemed a little manic, kind of like very sporadic, but basically, I was trying to summarize what I was musing about in a half hour down to like 5, 6 minutes. And I was going to try to get it down to like even a minute, because I don't know. Like, just trying to make better content instead of rambling roundabout ways. But basically, the stuff that I'm talking about, the side projects, the ideas, all of that, they all tie together into an effort to bring about world peace and world security. So that is like the ultimate, like mega grand poobah of cybersecurity is ultimately like securing the world. So. Now, granted, that's very big-headed and egotistical, and I don't think I can do that overnight, and I wouldn't even dare say that I would even. Sorry, no. Let me point back up a little bit. So I stand on the shoulders of giants, and that's why I see so far. So that's a statue on campus at CSU, Colorado State University, for those that are just joining us. Um, yeah, that's where I got my undergrad from, and like, there's a what's kind of like a I think it's just a plaque or like the quote somewhere. Like the actual sculpture or statue, or whatever, it's just kind of random. But basically, it's the idea, and I don't even remember who said it too. It's irrelevant. Like a person said it. It is profound and it is worth repeating that I saw as far as I could because I stood on the shoulders of giants. So with these videos, these musings that I do, I'm slowly, yes, doing a journal of sorts, but also slowly building up on education, how to effectively educate other people, how to understand other people, to receive and give education, or advice too. Advice is a little trickier, and so that's. But as far as like education, so that way, and at the end of the day, education comes in all forms. Like it doesn't have to be in a classroom in a setting like you hope it would be. That way you can focus and get clarity and have somebody guide you at that point. But we're really learning all the time, every day. So, and until, well, and we're getting to that point where we're creating content to educate the masses. So, like for instance, math and science. I did the GED video or prep videos, kind of lengthy. Like, I mean, but at the same time, if you imagine how much time that I've spent in public school, thousands upon thousands of hours, well, days really, like full days. Of just a public education. Now that's standardized grades, kindergarten. I also did preschool as part of like a half daycare, half thing. So, and same with my own kiddos. They did a daycare, and then where they kind of learned certain things, like they were there with other kids. So they learned certain social skills at a young age. But it was a more laid back environment. Uh, but then preschool, or start, yeah, no, we still did preschool too. Now that I think about it. We did a preschool, then a kindergarten, and yeah. Anyways, in America, the standard education and I'm not saying it's the perfect one, but I'm saying like that's about like about the level that we should try to have available for everybody. So I'll worry about my neighborhoods first and kind of like circle outward. So and what I'm doing is I'm waiting for my red key USB to come in the mail, where I'm gonna wipe some computers. I'm already working on a project with my work to donate laptops to those that could use them, and I think I'm gonna approach the library and we're gonna try, and I'll see, well, one, what the needs are, but I'm also gonna try to approach a few businesses around town. There's a lot in Fort Collins, and just see if they have the idea. They might have already too, and that's why I try not to be too big-headed or sound egotistical, because I'm not the only one thinking this. Like, there's tons of people out there doing exactly this. So, like, libraries are going to start getting computers donated. Then those computers will be able to be checked out or even just distributed to the people, like, to all people. I'm thinking at first it'll be like a checkout system. Like, they get to check them out, then they have to return them, and then they have, a library card with an account. Maybe they have to put down a deposit. I don't know. At least until to get things going. But really, I'm thinking for the most part, it's going to be an overall success. Like, there's going to be a couple of loss, but at the same time, these are going to be computers that are just donated anyway. So it's not like it's coming out of the library's budget, basically. So, anyways, that's just one point. And then With the access to computers is access to education. Now, educational materials, yeah, I did the GED videos, which are good for basic understanding of math and science, of what you're expected to know at a graduate level. Like that's what the GED test is good for, and that's why I encourage anybody who hasn't gotten their high school diploma or an equivalency degree get their graduate equivalent. I think that's what it stands for, the graduation equivalency degree or diploma or something. Basically, it's your GED and diploma are almost interchangeable, and that will already set you up for better jobs, better access to jobs. I'm not saying that like we still need people to work the lower paying jobs. I mean, basically slavery, to sustain, you know, the eating in public culture. Although I wager, I mean, a lot of the demand for eating in public has probably gone down since the times of COVID, and a lot more work is remote. So then, there's a lot less demand and a lot less need for public dining. Sorry, I don't know. Not saying it's like the world is changing. It's just whether you like it or hate it. I know some people really don't like it, but other people are really enjoying it. Like the more remote culture and being more productive too, getting more done. Like within a day, without having to sacrifice time spent going places and preparing and getting even better rest because then you have to like wake up at a certain time. Like no, like all of these things pay back tenfold because your actual productivity is so much more. Like you're able to get so much more done, address so many more issues, fix so many, and like in IT, it's especially good because you want to talk about head on a swivel, being able to pivot. This one company I worked at was this huge company, multinational, um, and taught me a lot of really useful skills. Really useful skills. Like I was doing, tons of tickets. Wait, how's that? Okay, now I understand how that's going. Just tons of issues and mostly triaging, but it was getting to the point where we were starting to take over a lot of the duties, and that's why I recommend getting into like a frontline IT help desk or even like call centers. Like a lot of the work is you know kind of gross. Like you gotta deal with sales or upset people or fortunately, a lot of companies have stopped like cold calling people and stopped business calling because a lot of people just screen their calls. If they don't know you or if you don't leave a message, then they just, I mean, I do. Like, if I don't recognize the number, I just don't answer. Like, I don't need it. I mean, it's probably a scam, and if it's not a scam, then they can leave a message if it's legitimate. And that's kind of like a security standard anymore. And I tell everybody, that's advice that I give. Like, do what you want, but I screen all my phone calls. So. And because with great power comes great responsibility. Like with great access to information and access to people, you have to have great responsibility. So, but until then, we do have cybersecurity professionals that are training tons by the day. Like, so I was part of the first boot camp with CSU. And it's above and beyond. On top of my degree, I went back for a cybersecurity boot camp just so I could be more uh, so I could get better jobs, get better positions. And yes, I landed the best. Oh, sorry, not to sound like ironic or anything. God, that'd be bad if it was like. So enough of that. I could still get really good after this. There you go. So it's not depressing if worse comes to worse, but at the same time, if best comes to best, then yeah, I'm right where I want to be. So let's see. Anywho, so my point is, IT, it's fun. Where was it going with that? And the problem-solving mindset of working in IT helps to, or helps in other areas. It's also useful for like current world problems. And people are people, and I think that's the biggest thing that I kept going back to, especially my spastic little 5-minute videos, was people are people, and like to understand human nature is to understand that we are all people, and given the right circumstance, we will do these things. So and with more exposure, we're seeing, especially with like YouTube shorts and stuff, we're seeing people around the world doing the same exact things, like, or at least very similar things, to where it's like, oh wow, that's like just their version of it. So let's see, I gotta mend this. Uh, hmm. Gonna need some carrots for this one. Anyhow, ah, heals the axe a little bit. So basically, I was trading emeralds for experience to heal the axe. Sorry, I was just like in my mind figuring out, did I want to do that? Did I not? Anyways. Actually, we're starting to. Well, no. I'm saying that'd be a good place to cut it. I do have some things I need to get doing. That's kind of one of the things that, like, back when I was in college, what really helped for me was I would do some work, then play some video games, then do some work, then play some video games. That's kind of what I do in here. And if you notice the timestamps of these things, like I do have little breaks in between. It's not completely accurate. Like it's not exactly 1 hour to 1 hour ratio, but at the same time, it's hard pressed to have more than 3 or 4 hours of work a day. So if you just live your day like that, I mean, granted, I could be leaning, yeah, heavier towards the work side, but I do get a lot done. And there's the music playing off the stage. Uh, yeah, let's do a 10-minute more relaxed. There's the musing. That's it for tonight. I gotta get to doing some things. So, all right, ta ta for now. I'll see you later.